Welcome to ZoomInData. Today we're diving into one of the most in-demand skills in the Microsoft world, Power Apps. If you're preparing for a job interview, or planning to switch your career into Power Platform, this video will be extremely helpful. In this session, I will be covering the top Power Apps interview questions along with clear, easy-to-understand answers. Whether you're a beginner learning Power Apps for the first time, or an experienced developer revising core concepts, this video will help you strengthen your fundamentals from the ground up. So let's get started with the first question. 1. What factors determine whether to build a Canvas app or a model-driven app? The first factor is how important UI design is. If the app needs a custom layout or mobile-friendly design, Canvas apps are preferred. The second factor is data complexity. If the app is heavily data-driven with relationships, model-driven apps are more suitable. The third factor is business process complexity, such as workflows, security roles, and standardized forms. Example: a mobile inspection app uses Canvas, while a CRM system uses model-driven apps. 2. How do UI responsibilities differ between Canvas and model-driven apps? In Canvas apps, the developer fully controls screen layout, colors, positioning, and behavior of every control. In model-driven apps, the system automatically generates UI based on data structure and configuration. Canvas apps focus more on user experience, while model-driven apps focus on data consistency. Example: a field service app requires a custom UI, so Canvas is chosen instead of model-driven. 3. What design challenges exist in Canvas apps? Maintaining consistency across multiple screens can be difficult without proper planning. Large Canvas apps can become hard to manage if naming and structure are not followed. Performance issues may arise if too many controls or heavy logic are used. Example: an app with many screens becomes confusing because different buttons look and behave differently. 4. Why are model-driven apps preferred for complex business processes? They are built directly on Dataverse, which supports relationships, rules, and workflows. Security roles and access control are easier to manage. Standardized UI ensures consistency across users and departments. Example: sales teams use model-driven apps to manage leads, opportunities, and approvals. 5. How does data-first design work in model-driven apps? The app design starts with defining tables, relationships, and rules. UI elements such as forms and views are automatically created based on the data model. Business logic is applied at the data level rather than UI level. Example: creating customer and order tables first automatically generates forms and views. 6. What limitations exist when customizing model-driven app UI? UI layout options are limited compared to Canvas apps. Pixel-perfect design is not possible. Custom UI behavior often requires configuration instead of visual design. Example: you cannot freely place buttons anywhere on the screen like in Canvas apps. 7. How do business rules influence app type selection? If business rules must be enforced consistently across all users, model-driven apps work better. Rules applied at data level reduce dependency on UI logic. Canvas apps require manual handling of many rules. Example: mandatory approval steps are enforced using Dataverse business rules. 8. When should you avoid mixing app types? Mixing app types can increase maintenance complexity. Users may face inconsistent experiences. debugging and enhancements become harder. Example: using Canvas for half the process and model-driven for the rest confuses users. 9. How does scalability differ between Canvas and model-driven apps? Model-driven apps scale better for large datasets and many users. Canvas apps require careful design to handle scale efficiently. Dataverse gives model-driven apps an advantage in enterprise usage. Example: a CRM used by thousands of users scales better as model-driven. 10. What maintenance challenges exist in Canvas apps? Logic scattered across screens is hard to track. Changes require manual updates in multiple places. Poor naming conventions increase confusion. Example: updating one button behavior requires changes on several screens. 11. How does app type affect user training? Canvas apps need more training due to custom UI. Model-driven apps are easier to learn because of standard layouts. Familiar UI reduces onboarding time. Example: users learn model-driven apps faster because screens look similar. 12. What role do dashboards play in model-driven apps? Dashboards provide a quick overview of key metrics. They help users make decisions faster. Dashboards are automatically connected to data. Example: sales managers view pipeline and performance dashboards. 13. How does navigation differ between app types? Canvas apps use buttons and custom navigation logic. Model-driven apps use system-defined navigation based on tables. Navigation in model-driven apps is consistent and predictable. Example: Canvas app navigation uses custom menus. Model-driven uses left navigation pane. 14. How do app types impact performance? Model-driven apps are optimized by platform automatically. Canvas apps need performance optimization by the developer. Poor Canvas design can lead to slow apps. Example: a poorly designed Canvas app loads slowly due to heavy logic. 15. What app type is best for mobile-first design? Canvas apps are best suited for mobile-first and touch-based design. They allow flexible layouts and device-specific customization. Model-driven apps are less flexible on mobile. Example: a delivery tracking app uses Canvas for mobile usage. 16. How do app types handle security differently? Model-driven apps use Dataverse security roles natively. Canvas apps rely more on data source permissions. Security is more structured in model-driven apps. Example: sales reps only see their own leads in a model-driven app. 17. What is the impact of app type on reporting? Model-driven apps integrate easily with Power BI. Data relationships improve reporting quality. Canvas apps depend more on external reporting tools. Example: CRM data is directly used in Power BI reports. 18. How does offline capability influence app type selection? Canvas apps support offline scenarios better. Model-driven apps have limited offline support. Field apps often require offline usage. Example: inspection apps use Canvas apps for offline data capture. 19. How do app types affect data modeling decisions? Model-driven apps require strong data modeling upfront. Canvas apps allow more flexible data usage. Poor modeling affects performance and maintenance. Example: Dataverse relationships are planned carefully for model-driven apps. 20. What business scenarios require hybrid approaches? Some apps need custom UI and strong data rules. Hybrid approach increases complexity but meets diverse needs. requires careful planning. Example, a Canvas front-end with Dataverse back-end. 21. How do app types affect customization effort? Canvas apps require more manual customization. Model-driven apps rely on configuration. Effort depends on UI requirements. Example, custom branding is easier in Canvas apps. 22. How do app types influence testing strategy? Canvas apps require more UI testing. Model-driven apps focus more on data and rules testing. Testing effort varies by complexity. Example, Canvas apps need device-based testing. 23. What are common interview traps related to app types? Assuming Canvas apps are always better. Ignoring data complexity. Not understanding model-driven benefits. Example, choosing Canvas for a CRM system is a wrong decision. 24. How does app type affect governance? Model-driven apps align better with governance. Canvas apps need stricter controls. Governance avoids app sprawl. Example, enterprises prefer model-driven for core systems. 25. What mistakes do developers make while choosing app types? Choosing based on UI preference only. Ignoring future scalability. Not considering security and data growth. Example, a simple Canvas app becomes hard to scale later. Thank you. If you found this video helpful, checkmark like, checkmark share, checkmark subscribe. ZoomInData. More Power Apps interview and tutorial videos coming soon. Stay connected and keep learning.